The bar went silent. Music cut off. Pool cues froze midair. Every single pair of eyes turned toward the corner table where a woman in a black leather jacket had just ripped open a man's shirt. Gasps filled the air. But it wasn't what she did that shocked everyone, it was what she saw. A massive eagle inked across his chest, the words Semper Fi, 2nd Marine Division carved beneath it. Her lips trembled. No, it can't be you. And before anyone could blink, the woman everyone knew as the cold-hearted biker billionaire, Veronica Steele, fell to her knees in front of the quiet, humble single-dad veteran she'd just tried to humiliate. What no one in that bar knew was that this moment would uncover a secret connecting their pasts, heal two broken souls, and change every life in that small town forever. The Rusty Hammer Bar was the kind of place where stories went to hide. Dim lights, old country music, and the smell of cheap beer filled the air. On most nights, Jake Turner sat quietly at the corner booth after his shift at the auto shop. A former Marine Corps sergeant, Jake had seen war, loss, and pain, but nothing compared to the silence of coming home to an empty house after losing his wife in a car accident. His world now revolved around one thing: raising his 8-year-old son, Mason. He didn't drink to forget, he drank to remember. The brothers he'd lost. The promises he couldn't keep. Across the bar, laughter echoed. A group of bikers had rolled in, loud, confident, and untouchable. At their center was Veronica Steele, a striking woman with long black hair, sharp eyes, and a reputation that could silence a room. She owned half the town, including the very bar they were standing in. To her crew, she was fearless. To her rivals, she was ruthless. But behind her boldness was a loneliness no one saw. That night, their worlds collided. When one of Veronica's bikers accidentally bumped into Jake, spilling his drink, Jake quietly said, "It's fine. No harm done." But Veronica's pride didn't like the calm in his voice. "You just gonna sit there, tough guy? You don't look like you belong here." Jake didn't respond. He didn't want trouble. Her tone hardened. "Hey, when I talk, you look at me." He sighed, meeting her eyes for the first time. "Lady, I've looked into eyes colder than yours. You don't scare me." The bar went silent. Something about his voice, steady, controlled, stirred something deep in her. Anger, curiosity, maybe both. She took a step closer, smirking. "Let's see what kind of man you are under that old shirt." And before anyone could stop her, she reached out and ripped it open. The crowd gasped. There it was, the bold, inked emblem of the U.S. Marine Corps, its wings stretched proudly across his chest, the words Semper Fidelis etched in black. But it wasn't the tattoo that froze Veronica. It was the name inked below it, Lieutenant Michael Steele. Her brother. The brother she'd lost in Afghanistan 10 years ago. Her knees buckled. She whispered, trembling, How do you know that name?" Jake's face softened. "He saved my life. He was my commanding officer." The bar stood still. The woman everyone feared, the billionaire biker queen, was now crying in front of a man who'd carried her brother's legacy on his skin. Veronica walked out of the bar that night without saying another word. Jake thought that was the end of it, just another painful reminder of the ghosts that followed him. But the next morning, everything changed. When he opened his garage, a line of custom motorcycles stood gleaming outside, each with the Steel Wings logo, her brand. And at the end of the line, a silver Harley with his name engraved on it. Before he could process it, Veronica appeared. She didn't wear her usual armor, no makeup, no smirk. Just tired eyes and a soft voice. "You served with my brother," she said. "You were the one who brought back his tags, weren't you?" Jake nodded quietly. "He was my friend. A damn good man." Tears rolled down her cheeks. "They said no one made it out that night. But you did. He did it for you, didn't he?" Jake's jaw tightened. "He pulled me out of the blast. I begged him to move, but he smiled and said, 'Take care of them for me.' I didn't know who them was until last night." Veronica broke down completely. All her years of rage, rebellion, and loneliness melted into one truth: she had built her empire to escape the pain of losing her brother. And now, standing in front of the man he saved, she finally understood what her brother meant by them. "Jake," she whispered, "you were the reason I survived too. Because he saved you, and through you, he found a way to protect me." For the first time in years, Jake placed his hand gently on someone's shoulder. "He'd be proud of you, Veronica. You made something powerful out of your pain." She looked up, eyes glistening. "Maybe it's time I did something good with that power." That day, Veronica offered Jake a partnership in her company, not out of pity, but respect. Together, they started a foundation for veterans struggling to rebuild their lives, called the Steel Promise. The first event they hosted was held at the same bar where they met. Jake stood on stage with Mason at his side, his Marine tattoo visible beneath his rolled-up sleeve. Veronica stood next to him, holding her brother's dog tags in her hand. When the crowd fell silent, Jake said softly, "Sometimes, life brings you face to face with the people your loved ones wanted you to find. And when that happens, it's not chance. It's a message." Veronica nodded, adding, "A reminder that even in loss, love never stops fighting." The audience rose to their feet. Veterans saluted. Bikers raised their glasses. The woman who once ruled through fear and the man who once lived in silence had found healing in each other, and in the legacy of a Marine who refused to be forgotten. As the night ended, Mason tugged on Jake's sleeve. "Dad, does that mean we're part of her family now?" Jake smiled. "Son, we always were.